Yo, what's up, y'all? It's your friend Bob. Happy New Year. It is a new year and new challenges, new goals, and I hope you had a nice new year. If didn't wish you already, but my goal for this year is to really challenge myself into the kitchen. It's not the best time of year to do it just because there's nothing really in season. There's nothing to catch. The herring are tough to catch, and I've been out there looking, but no success. So I was thinking that we would do something a little bit different today. I've never cooked lobster before in my life. There's a reason for that. We'll get into that later in the video, but I was thinking that we would cook some lobster bisque. I already went out and got the ingredients at my local market, and I was thinking that we'd go cruise over the Williamsburg Bridge, walk it, go to Chinatown and get some lobster from a seafood company I've never been to before, and challenge ourselves to do something a little bit different. So we're on top of the Williamsburg Bridge right now, and out there is the Brooklyn Bridge, and then if you come over here, all the way over there is the Queensboro Bridge, and this divides Brooklyn from Manhattan. Usually ride my bike over this, but it's kind of cool seeing something different today. I'm 35 years old and I've never bought lobster before. The reason being, my dad was a lobsterman. All right, we are almost at our destination. We have made it to Essex and Grand Street. Oh, I see.
Hi, dude.
That's cool, man. You got CDs too. No. Doesn't work anymore? All right, we made it. Hello. Hello. I was just gonna get 2 lobsters.
What size?
1 1/4.
1 1/4?
Yeah, I was gonna get 1 male and 1 female.
Jesus. 2 go to pound and quarter. 1 macho, 1 female. Yeah.
Wow. What is this?
I don't know, the Chinese shogo. I don't know.
No. I've never seen it.
This man.
How do you tell the difference between the male and the female?
This is the big size. The female is the small one. They're very thin.
Oh, okay.
This female.
Because there's 2?
Yeah. See that one? Is the big one? Is the big?
Only 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's female.
Cool. Thank you.
How are you?
Good. How's it going?
Good. What can I do for you?
Oh, I'm just getting some lobsters. I'm making lobster bisque for the first time.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic.
I'm making a video about it, so.
Alrighty. Have
Yeah.
fun.
Thank you. Have a nice day. right, we are back at the crib from our adventure, and I got the bugs. That was a cool little mission. Shout out to Aqua Best for letting me film in there and being cool, educating me on the male and the female. This is a female I got right here, and this is a male. The male's got more of a straighter tail, and he's grinding his little antennas at me right now. But yeah, I was having so much fun learning about lobsters on the train ride that I missed my stop. And yeah, just a couple quick facts for you. They're nocturnal, they're awake at night, and that's usually when people dive for them. Easier to catch at night. They originally weren't so lush. Like these originally weren't such an expensive meal. I was surprised how expensive they were, and that's cool. Shout out to the lobster fishermen getting it in. But yeah, you know, these were, in the colonial times, these were fed to livestock. Rikers Island, the prisoners, you know, they ate lobsters. It wasn't like a delicacy that it is now. And I always thought that they only swam backwards like this into their holes. But what I was reading, they can actually swim forwards. And when they're in danger, they can move much quicker going backwards like that. And these are Atlantic lobsters, but there's lobster in all parts of the world that look completely different than this. These are kind of like a green and yellow color, and when you cook them they turn red, but they're not really red per se. And you can see this one actually has a little bit of blue on them, but you know, the cool thing about lobsters is that, especially the Atlantic ones, there's a lot of variety in the color. These can, sorry, my rabbit's sneezing, but these can be blue, they can be albino. I think my dad caught an albino one once, and I remember him talking about it. And yeah, these females, you know, they hold the eggs in these little swimmerettes here. And another thing I thought was pretty cool is that lobsters have one crushing claw. This is the crushing claw here. And then they've also got one pinching claw. And they can be on the left or the right. It doesn't really matter so much as they grow. It can kind of develop on either side. And, you know, lobsters are crustaceans and they molt. So they molt their shell and they get a new shell. And what I learned is the females actually don't lay eggs until they've finished molting, and they hold the eggs in their little swimmerettes, and they're in charge of the eggs, and the males actually have a little less responsibility when it comes to that. They kind of, the females decide when they want to fertilize the eggs, and then they hold on to them. People call them bugs because the nervous system is closer to like a grasshopper or an ant. It's, you know, crustacean, but the way the nervous system works, it's a little closer to a bug. All right, so I've got everything all broken apart. I've got our claws separated, took the bands off, the rubber bands off, and I'm gonna throw it inside of this little colander. And the idea here is that I don't want to really cook this per se completely all the way through. I want to get it like halfway through. I don't even know if this is the right way to do it, but I'm just going to throw everything in this colander. And, because I don't really know what I'm doing. But I'm going to throw this in here and let it sit for probably 8 minutes, I want to say. And you can see these are the juices that I was talking about. I want to save all of that. Some of this like green stuff I could take out, but a lot of these juices, you know, I want to save. You know, something that's interesting is that I think a lot of this red color is because of the shells, but lobster actually have clear blood, which is pretty interesting. And I don't have a cover for this pot, so I'm just going to take this little thing here and throw that on top. All right, so I only cooked these for about 4 minutes, I think. The idea is that I just wanted to get the meat to be able to pull apart from these shells, and these shells are important. That's what we're going to be cooking our bisque in. So Just wanted to cook it just enough, but not too much. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Got some nice juices and fat building up here. And I think that the idea is that I'm going to pull all these pieces apart and start cooking with the shells, browning these shells. So take this all out of here. So I'm going to let this cool down, but basically I'm going to pick all the meat out of it and then start to add the shells first to the wok. So let's get our wok hot. Let's heat up that wok, get it to a nice low level. I'm going to first start by adding some extra virgin olive oil to the wok. Nice generous amount there. It's good for you. So this is cooled down enough. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the meat out of this, put it off to the side, and then cook down these shells first. So start grabbing meat out of here. Really should have like a some tools to do this a little easier, but oh well. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep dropping the meat on this tray and also all these little extra juices. Woo! Look at that. Delicious piece of meat right there. Yeah, I'm just putting all these claws and stuff in here. We're gonna brown this up. Then I'm gonna add my vegetables. First thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit of tomato paste. Let's open up the tomato paste. Throw some of that in there. So like I am using a recipe for this, but I'm kind of winging it right now. I'm not really following it exactly per se. And now I'm going to take the juice from earlier and get that in there. All that nice juice. Oh, piece of meat fell in. I'm gonna need that. Alright, and then I'm gonna put this in the fridge because it does not need to be out. Well, don't want you guys to see what's in my fridge. Bunch of monsters in there. But yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna turn up the heat on this a bit. Move this around. And yeah, I'm just going to start winging it from here. So I'm going to add the celery, carrots, and onions. Add those in there, mix that around. Then I'm going to add a whole stick of butter. Whole stick of butter. Get that in there. Now I'm going to take the juice that we had earlier when we were boiling down the lobsters. I'm going to reintroduce that. Got this nice big piece of gelatinous lobster in here. I don't know if I want that. Yeah, just throw all this stock in there because that's where all the lobster flavor is. I want it to taste lobstery, you know? And then let's start to reduce this down, and I'm going to add some other things, but I need to wash my hands. Bisque, I guess Lobster Bisque has a lot of chicken stock in it. And this is going to reduce down for an hour. So we got a little bit of time here, but I'm going to add some chicken stock from a box. And then I actually made
chicken soup a couple days ago, and this dish actually calls for rice. So what I was gonna do is, there's rice in this chicken soup, so I was gonna use some of this kind of heavy rice from the other day and throw that in there. It's also got some potatoes in it too, so bunch of fat from chicken as well, so that's gonna be good. And then we're gonna throw some tarragon in there. I couldn't find fresh tarragon. I've not really cooked with it either, so throw some of that in there. Like I said, we're kind of winging it here, just having fun in the kitchen like the Muppets. Some pepper. Throw some black pepper in there. And then I'm gonna throw some little more salt. Sea salt always goes far. I'm gonna add some garlic powder, just a little bit. And then I'm also gonna add a little bit of cayenne pepper. Not very much, just a little bit of cayenne pepper, just to bring up that heat just a touch. And then 3 fresh cloves of garlic. Calls for minced, so I'm gonna try and get this thinly sliced. Good enough. This is all going to go into the food processor at some point, so I'm not too worried about these things being too finely crushed and ground, if you know what I'm saying. Alright, there we go. I think that that's all of our ingredients, so just use my knife and get this all in there. And last, we need to add some heavy cream. Add that heavy cream in there. I think this is really what makes it the bisque. That heavy cream was definitely the last missing ingredient. This looks good now. I'm excited. That cream was definitely the missing element. All right, so let's reduce this down for 1 hour. We'll be back. All right, it's been an hour. The rabbits are asleep after eating dinner, and my apartment smells heavenly. Like, the aroma coming from this is so nice smelling. Like, it just smells so good. I haven't had lobster in forever. But yeah, this bisque just looks heavenly. I'm so excited right now. This was a good idea to challenge ourselves today. But yeah, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take out these really big pieces and throw those in the trash. All these kind of larger pieces here. Pull those out. We made like the perfect amount. Look, it all fits in the food processor. I mean, there's like a little bit left in here. Might be able to fit it. Let's see. Woo! I'm making such a mess. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm Muppets or something. Alright, we got the wok heating up. Take some more of our EVOO here, extra virgin olive oil. Drop some of that on there. And then we're going to take our half-cooked lobster from before. Let this pan get hot. And I'm just gonna brown this lobster again. And then there's gonna be a couple of like small bits, I think, inside of the bisque. So my plan is, just because I don't really have a strainer, or actually, yeah. Well, yeah. Sorry, I just had a brain fart. I think that my plan is that I'm gonna take this cheesecloth and wrap it around like that. And then take this knife and cut the cheesecloth. Let's throw this delicious lobster meat in there. It's such a mess. So I was gonna put a rubber band around the cheesecloth, but I can't find a rubber band, so I'm just gonna use some clothespins, I guess. Just put some clothespins around it. It'll work. And then I'm just gonna kind of hold the front and get it in there. I feel like butter and lobster just kind of makes sense to me. Yeah, it's working. It's actually working. The cheesecloth actually worked. Damn, my place is a mess, but that's okay. Cooking should be a mess. Wow, look at this. Look at this. Oh my. We actually made lobster bisque. I can't believe it happened. We did it. Got my big spoon here. We're gonna dip in. Let's try. Well, we're starting this year off on a bang. I mean, this is unreal. Like, very, very delicious. I haven't had lobster in a while. It's like the broth is very velvety and thick, creamy, buttery. It's just like a lot of flavors going on in my mouth right now. I'll tell you what, I forgot to put the bay leaf in. I forgot to put not the scallions, not the green onions, but yeah, I forgot to put the chives in. So I forgot to do a couple of things, but I'm racing the light today, and we had a lot of stuff to do. So I consider today a success.